Good morning. I'm going to spend this walk discussing what relationships mean and, what and how they are labeled. I am your host, Mariah Gonzalez, and let's talk about it. What are relationships in general? Relationships are just a connection between two people. The types of relationships we're looking into are friendships and romantically. I think really what I am noticing in my own community, the college community, is a lot of people are afraid to, corroborate that or confirm that, that they're in a relationship, be vulnerable or give that piece of themselves. I think, vulnerability is really, a tough thing to really accept, release within oneself, because really it's like letting your inner parts out and you're hoping that they don't get smashed in a million pieces. But really, what it takes to really establish a relationship is verbally saying it. And I know, college students, and especially I've experienced it, where I'm like, oh, I like you, like I want to do so and so, and then it's like it gets awkward where you tell this person that you like them, and then there's that gray in between where you both are like, you like each other, but then you don't want to take that next step. And really, to go to the romantic side of it, it's like a big kind of not burden, but too much of a big cost to really take that risk. And I don't think a lot of people are willing to take a risk like that anymore, especially when it comes to relationships in this day and age. A lot of people just can't stay committed. They're not willing to maintain the work, because I notice a lot of couples, they only last 1 to 2 years. If there's a small bump in the road, they're like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. 40 to 50 year marriages do not happen without issues or problems, and you gotta really think about it. When looking at this person, I know you're not gonna find the one in college, maybe you will, I don't know, but you really have to sit down, look at this person and be like, I really like this person. Am I going to be willing to put the work in, or am I going to waste this person's time? And I think that's a big thing that people do not take into consideration. But on the other side of it, I think I'm just gonna vent a little bit. For me, having friends, I can establish friendships, but I think for me what I struggle the most with is maintaining those connections. And honestly, I think to make this podcast a little more authentic, I think you guys should understand something about me. I am I never used to be this extroverted. I never used to be this bubbly or open. When I was in middle school and high school, I was just very closed in my bubble and introverted. I just didn't want to get out, because a lot of people already knew me. But coming to college, it really helped me open break that bubble. And I think when it comes to friendships and going forward, what I notice with some people is they don't know how to make that friend or take that step. And really, it just begins with, hi, how are you? I think it's a lot of overthinking, and honestly, I know I'm a hypocrite because I love my phone, but I feel if a lot of this generation did not have phones and really we stayed in the flip phone era for a while, I think we would be better off. I think social media, mainstream, and especially mainstream expectations of how relationships should be and what their standards and everything, it's really fucked up this generation and society. I just feel people don't know how to communicate anymore, whether that's romantically or just in friendships, and it really just boggles me, because for me, I'm like, oh, hey girl, what you doing? Or hey bitch, what's up? For me, I used to be very in social cues. I was a little slow with it in middle school, but after getting out more and experiencing more, I figured it out. And I think socially, when it comes to making friends, for me, it's pretty easy, but I have friends who don't have that easy of a time, and it literally is you have to teach them how to do steps 1, 2, 3, and that's okay. But I think what people who are trying to make friends, they're not afraid they're afraid of taking those social risks and steps to creating lifelong connections. Yeah, I don't want to go any further than that, but and that's what I would like to achieve with this podcast. This is what I would like to do for this whole generation. And I feel like what is lacking is confidence and, not afraid of making mistakes and fear of rejection. And I think fear of rejection is a very normal thing, but you can't avoid it. Whether that's, socially, romantically, career-wise, like you're going to deal with it. And I feel like a lot of, this generation too, they're afraid of being uncomfortable. You're going to have a lot of fucking uncomfortable conversations. And if you're going to avoid them all your life, you're never going to grow as an adult. Period. I am used to a lot of tough love from my family and my friends. And I think, on a side note, it's built me into a better person. I know I honestly have to work on some things. And these past 2 semesters, I've taken a lot of accountability when it comes to friendships and realizing that it's not all their fault. I have some fault to take accountability for when it comes to, problems or issues that arise in relationships within friendships. But yeah, like, with friendships, I've learned a lot, but, I think personally, moving forward, I think the things I would want to teach is if you're standing in the student union or, if you're standing in the student union or you're standing near Gamble or, you're at McHugh and you see somebody and you like them, try to find something to compliment them on. Be like, hey, I like your Vans, where'd you get them? And then like, blah, 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 blah. And then like, hey, you want to go for dinner sometime? Let me get your phone number. Do not ask for their Snap. Please don't. Ask for their phone number, because phone number is like, direct access to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, they're allowing you that access to them, so that's a very big thing. I think we're getting too comfortable with Snapchat and Instagram, and honestly, in my opinion, a little bit of a hypocrite because I use both of them, but do as I say, not as I do. I think really what we need to go back to is the phone number, because with the phone number, they can call you and text you directly, and there's no excuse because everybody's on their phone. The only reason why I'm gonna be really point blank period is if they don't text you back, is if they're busy, they forgot, or they simply aren't interested in talking to you, or they don't want to talk to you anymore. Personally, like, there are certain people in my life where I just don't talk to them anymore because I don't want to and I don't feel comfortable to, and that is okay. But we all have to acknowledge where naiveness has its limits, and we have to accept the fact that some people are just not interested in talking to us, and that's okay, because every experience you have happens for a reason, and that's the same for meeting people. I think I want to go further into this conversation and move away from friendships, where when it comes to relationships and situationships, that's like really muddy water. I think everybody has an experience with situationships. I know my friends do. It's a very frustrating thing. And basically the whole thing is, it's like both people are emotionally unavailable. They are in a gray area where they don't know what the fuck to do. And I think that's a really big red flag. Like, I think green flags would be, hey, I understand you, like, in a situation where, like, you tell the person that you like them, I think green flags would be, like, their communicative skills. Basically, like, hey, you know what, I love the fact that you're interested in me, but I am in a place emotionally and career-wise where I don't feel like I can provide what you want me to right now. Like, if you could just straight up communicate that would be great. I think the majority of women and men in society, and any other gender out there, they would feel more comfortable and be at ease. Be like, okay, hey, they acknowledge the fact that I like them, but they're not ready. And I don't think a lot of people, know how to, like, straight up verbally do that. And it's like, again, vulnerability. And it's just, I just wish that it wasn't so awkward. But, like, if somebody, can have those, like, that green flag of a communication, it would be a lot better. You know what I mean? But I think other green flags would be, like, that they show you they're interested. I know I've repeated this a bunch of times in the past, but I feel like it needs to be repeated over and over again, because sometimes you could be sucked down into that delusion of like, oh my god, I have a chance with them, but like they're doing all these things where they're treating you like shit. Like they take hours to respond, or you know, they don't really treat you like a priority, you know, like with the hours to respond, but like obvious things. And like those are two examples. One more would be that, you know, like you only see them during nighttime, or they don't really talk to you or hang out with you in public. Like those are clear signs that they just don't want to spend time with you. And like I think for me, like I don't know, like it's hard to accept for me at times because I have some crushes, but like I don't know, I go with the flow. I'm in a place where like I would love a relationship, but I don't need one, and I don't want to settle, because I know what I deserve and I know what I want, and whoever's listening to this, I want to be that embodiment of energy for you. I want you to be like I want you, like if you struggle with confidence and you struggle with having that inner coach, I want you to look in the mirror. I don't care what fucking gender you are. You look in the mirror and you're like, I am a badass fucking bitch. I am sexy. I am smart. I am thriving, and whatever I deserve comes to me, and I already have it. Like, I think this is a thing I want to like add in. Like I use manifestation a lot in my life, and I think what people need to learn about manifestation is not just talking about wanting it. It's not about, you know, just like, you know, saying like, oh, I want it, but like you have to put in the work. You have to imagine what it feels like having whatever that is you want, whether it's a person, item, or place, like a house or location. You have to act like you fucking own it. That is the power of manifestation, because it's like when, you know, you're asking like the genie or like, you know, the universe what you want. When you tell them exactly what you want, then it'll come to you. I think that's the most beautiful thing in the world is I can always trust in the universe. I'm not religious, but I am very spiritual, and I know that the universe has my back. But the one thing that manifestation has taught me is whatever I want, I can attract it, and so can you. And I think what I'm gonna end this podcast officially with is be kind to yourself, hold your standards high, never change them, and, you know, treat others with respect and understanding. And especially when I want to teach this too, no matter what the fuck they're in life, agree to disagree. Life is too small to argue. And I think the only thing I'm going to say is, for this podcast, I really want to minimize politics and other things in general, but I will leave it open to where, you know, in the future, if somebody would want to come on here, if I could talk to an adult respectfully and we can agree to disagree, I would be willing to talk about other conversations. But all in all, I'm signing off for today. Thank you for listening. I am your host, Mariah Gonzalez, and let's talk about it.